The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask, Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And one other, whom grace would again bless. A tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
Good afternoon, Moonlight Army. This is the Moonlight Warrior, and today a new Tarnished is going to be coming to the lands between. This is Messina, the Moonlight Warrior. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, and I'm glad to finally be giving you guys commentary. This is going to be a very fun journey. Now, the first boss we're going to be taking on today is the Grafted Scion. This boss is parryable, so we should be able to take it out with relative ease. I'm not the best at parrying, but shouldn't be too big of a problem for us. Let me show you my stats real fast, as well as my weapons and equipment. For our catalyst, we are using the Carrion Regal Scepter plus 10, which boosts the... Yep, it enhances the full moon sorceries. Going to be using the Rickety Shield for parrying. Other than that, we have the Moonlight Greatsword, or the Dark Moon Greatsword plus 10. I'm still used to the Dark Souls version of it, the Moonlight Greatsword. That, however, is the Ash of War, which we'll be using. I'll be upgrading the longbow throughout our journey, and I also have the Sentry's Torch to see invisible enemies. Our armor consists of the Aristocrat Headband, the Carrion Knight Armor, Guardian Bracers, and Hoslow's Greaves. Our talismans include Shard of Alexander, Radagon Icon, Assassin's Cerulean Dagger, and the Graven Mass Talisman. We have the Flask of Crimson Tears plus 12, 11 of them. 3 flasks of Cerulean Tears plus 12, and the Flask of Wondrous Physic with the Spiked Cracked Tear and the Magic Shrouding Cracked Tear. Obviously we have the Spectral Seed Whistle for Torrent, and we'll be using different Ashes of War throughout our journey. I'm going to be starting with one of my favorites, Battle Mage Hughes, but we also have Ancient Dragon Knife Kristoff plus 10, Black Knife Tish plus 10, as well as Mimic Tear Ashes plus 10. And let me show you my stats. For the most part, everything's balanced out. I couldn't get everything perfectly. I wanted to be a level 300 at least, but the time that would have taken would have been too long, and I felt it would have been too overpowered. So, let us sit back, relax, and have a fun journey and conquer the lands between together as the Moonlight Army. That is our first boss down, only 164 more to go. Let's have some fun, people. Now here we can see one of the most beautiful set pieces in a game I've ever seen. The Erd Tree. Shadowed only by the foreboding Castle Stormvale, home to the decrepit demigod Godric the Grafted. We'll be conquering him in a few videos from now, and we're going to be taking a plunge to our death.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side. We found her here after all. One of her kind is sure to seek the ELDEN ring.
even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Now this is our tutorial area, the Cave of Knowledge. Nope, the Stranded Graveyard, which I think is part of the Cave of Knowledge. So let's head down and begin this journey through to the Soldier of Godric. And as you can tell by me tripping over my own words occasionally, this is my first time doing commentary for this channel, but I assure you it will get better with time. And we're not going to be worrying too much about these first few enemies. We're just going to head straight to the boss. Won't be that simple for a lot of the dungeons, but we will do our best. Let me switch to the staff real quick. There we go. We're going to use a little bit of magic to weaken this first one. Oh, we're completely one-shotted. That is our second boss down, 163 more to go. Let's continue on into Western Limgrave. This is a Fanged Imp statue, and this will be what allows us to enter one of our first hero dungeons, the Fringe Folk Hero. The Fringe Folk Hero's Grave. We'll be taking care of that one later on. For now, we're going to be taking on the Tree Sentinel and everything else on this side of the map, leading over to the Gatefront Ruins. And from there, we will conquer everything in Lake... I want to see what it's called again. I want to say it's Agiel or Argiel.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me, Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? the golden light that gives life to you, Tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a Tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you, Tarnished, to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly, to Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Drafted. It's time you set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you, if you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
And now we're going to be taking on the Tree Sentinel. This is the next NPC, the Merchant Kale.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods. I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer. Goodbye for now.
Okay, we are going to head for the Stormfoot Catacombs first, followed by Coastal Cave and Groveside Cave. We'll also be using this this exact build for one of my runs through of the Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion, though we are not entirely certain yet as to when that'll be happening. So here's our first dungeon, the Stormfoot Catacomb. Alright, let's light the grace and talk to this first ghost. He will give us some insight on what Erd Tree Burial is. Some fanged imps there to give us a little bit of trouble, but we handled them pretty well. Grab some upgrades for other spirit ashes. There we go. One less speed bump to worry about. More glove wart. And we're going to head right for the lever that'll allow us to access the boss of this dungeon. And we will now summon Battle Mage Hughes to assist us with the Erdtree Burial Watchdog. Beautiful. And from the Erdtree Burial Watchdog of the Stormfoot Catacombs, we received the Noble Sorcerer Ashes. Up next, we shall head towards the Coastal Cave to take on the, I believe they are the Demi-Human Chieftains. Let's go ahead and switch things up a little bit. Yeah, let's rely on you. Kristoff, the Ancient Dragon Knight. Man, this game is beautiful. I am so glad From Software gave us another worthwhile adventure. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of the Souls games, Demon Souls through Bloodborne. I'd love to have a chance to play King's Field in those games, but I've never had the opportunity for a PlayStation 1 or 2. I think one day, hopefully, maybe we can find a decent emulator. You can see Dragon Communion Isle across the waters there. It's going to be a little bit dark in here, so we're going to be using a Sentry's Torch. One down, one more to go. And there's another dungeon conquered. And we receive the sewing needle for that one, which we'll give to an NPC later on in the game. Not long from now, actually. Who will help us alter our garments. Now we're going to continue through this little cave system through till we reach Dragon Communion Isle. Okay, now we're going to head back to the Church of Ella and head straight for the Grove Side Cave. And we'll use the Black Knife Assassin Teach to be taking care of the next boss in this area. Gonna take out these wolves so nothing gets in our way. And this is the Beastman of Ferrum Azula. Go ahead and finish him off, Tish. There we go. And please remember to give a like, comment, and subscribe to this video. I'm glad to have you all here watching.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree. Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Okay, we're just gonna fight our way through the gatefront ruins. Let this guy blow the horn so we can just take them out real quickly. Beautiful. Now, when it comes to enemies dropping items on playthroughs like this, we don't pick up anything from enemies that have a ragdoll. If the enemy itself dissipates completely, we'll pick up those items because they are guaranteed drops. Those are mostly field bosses, dungeon bosses, shard bearers, and NPC invaders. So we are now going to be heading to the Limgrave Tunnel. Now the tunnels are essentially mines, which means you can get upgrade materials like smithing stones and at least 1 or 2 somber smithing stones of various levels depending on which part of the game you're in. Let's actually take on the flying dragon first. There we go. That is our first dragon down. received its heart, which we can take to the Cathedral of Dragon Communion and use to obtain a new draconic power. Limgrave Tunnels will be our next dungeon to conquer. Oh, that one got us. The Stone Digger Troll is now down. Let's keep going. Up next, we're going to head to the Murkwater Cave and then Murkwater Catacombs. We'll have our first NPC invader now, the Bloody Finger Nereus. Go ahead and give ourselves a good buff for the old sword. Here we go. Now normally we would have Yura, the Ronin, help us out, but we have things completely handled. This is one of the more powerful builds I've done. I've got a few more builds for the DLC in the background, but I don't plan to record all of those. We'll have to wait until the expansion itself drops at some point next year. I believe there will be a noise trap somewhere in here. Oops, just ripped my rule there for a moment. Now, in this arena, there is a very famous FromSoft cameo character, Patches.
Thought you'd just help yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief! The gods demand repentance! Cough up your coin! All of it! Wait, please! I surrender! White flag and all! Finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a lady of reason, through and through. Ah. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a demi-human or some such. An innocent mistake, I assure you. Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on?
Now let's go ahead and forgive and forget.
True lady of reason. Just what I like about you. I'm Patches. Patches the untethered. Tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say. Only for now, those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel. In exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes. But honestly, this looting racket is bloody terrifying. Frankly, I'm ready to wash my hands clean. Maybe set up a legitimate shop. So don't be a stranger. I'll be ready to wheel and deal come next time.
And when we return shortly after taking on the Murkwater Catacombs, we will have ourselves a new merchant NPC who will be joining us on this journey across the lands between.
Just joining the fray. Tarnished. Well, you fought Nereus and survived. That alone deserves commendation. I'm Yura, hunter of bloody fingers. Tarnished, held in thrall by cessblood. Zealots, who stalk their own. You stay the path. You're certain to face more of them. Just remember, no kinship with their ilk remains. Their madness precludes it. Don't let your emotions stay your blade. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again. If fate permits.
And that was Yura, the Bloody Finger Hunter. By far one of my favorite voice acting in the game. There we go. The Grave Warden Duelist is one of my favorite boss and enemy designs, something very old school gladiatorial about it. Okay, up next we'll head to Waypoint Ruins, and we will also take on our first nighttime boss, the Knight's Cavalry. But first, let us take a look at our first giant sword monument to give us some lore on the area of Limgrave, some history. Godric the Golden, humiliated, having tasted defeat by the blade of Mikola, now on his knees, begging for mercy. The Blade of Mikola is a boss we will be taking on way later in the game, and she is one of the more challenging ones.
There. Could you help us out, Cully? What you... Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Bok. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really. Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me. Or if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon. Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore. Right,
And Bok is one of the most loyal friends you will have on this journey. Receive the Ash of War determination. And it is already morning, so what we're going to do is take on the boss of the Waypoint Ruins to be able to use a grace and reset the daytime to nighttime cycle. And this is the Pumpkinhead Warrior. Oof, that is a beautiful parry. And already down. Let's open this door to talk to yet another NPC, Sorceress Selen.
Tarnished, are we? No wonder you should turn up here. I am Selen, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here? yen for glintstone sorceries. Well, your aptitude does appear passable, but one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me? Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protege in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young apprentice. Your appetite for learning is impressive. You make me proud to have grown little legs so readily. You must have a fabulous teacher.
Okay, we're going to reset the time of day to night now, so we can take on the Knight's Cavalry. And we're running short on time, so this will be the last boss we take care of for this video. Shouldn't take us too long. And there we go. That is our first nighttime field boss taken care of. And I would like to thank you all today for beginning this journey with me. I look forward to bringing you more, and we look forward to bringing you more content as time progresses. We are part of a very dedicated team, the three of us. Myself, the Crescent Moon Assassin, and the Moon Goon himself. Welcome to the Moonlight Army. We look forward to having you in our ranks.